Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Michelle, and we're here to do a book tag. I don't know who started this book tag. It might have been Becca in the books. I'm not really sure. But anyways, I'm just really excited to be doing a book tag. These are so much fun, little short videos. This one in particular sounded really interesting because of, where my goals are this year of really kind of honing in on what my very specific and unique reading tastes are and kind of analyzing that. Let's go ahead and just jump right into this. Question number 1 is to describe your reading taste in one sentence. So I didn't really prepare for this video also, so I'm just kind of winging it as we go. This one is different. I really love fantastical stories with amazing characters and world building. How about that? Question number 2 is to describe your reading taste in terms of categories. And I guess categories is like genres. I guess categories could also be for like subplots and stuff like that. Okay, in terms of categories, fantasy, gothic, dark academia, science fiction, dystopian, games, heists, love triangles. What else do I like? Oh, witches, vampires, werewolves, magic. I like some horror elements. Creepy? I like creepy and atmospheric. Small towns and southern towns. I like those. That's all I've got for now. Question number 3 is to show a few books that represent your reading taste. So I did kind of already run around and grab a few books. This is absolutely not all of them because how do you sum up your reading taste in just a few books? This is quite a few though. So we have Beautiful Creatures, Southern Small Town Witches, and Book Nerds. Got that. I do like some classics. I am going through, I'm trying out more and more classics as we go, but this one is amazing. Then we have Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. This is an amazing, atmospheric, beautiful book, so well written. This is also considered a gothic, I believe, and it also has a trope where like our main character, like a rags to riches kind of story. I love a rags to riches. So there's this one. Then we have House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. This was a really good book. This kind of represents like, a shorter, more fast-paced story. There's mystery, there's creepy, very creepy vibes, kind of grotesque. There's some kind of gory, grotesque elements to it. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. These tabs are absolutely ridiculous. Then we have Six of Crows. This is fantasy, heist, found family, morally gray characters. Oh, this is definitely part of like this epic saga because it also goes with Shadow and Bone. I probably would have grabbed Shadow and Bone, but this one was easier to grab off the shelf. But either way, it kind of ties into Shadow and Bone, which is a really cool concept where they have this fantasy world that is in different parts of the world. You have different characters, but they all kind of come into this map. It makes the world feel so big and just like so many stories could come out of this world. So there's that. Pretty Monsters. I have not read this book, but this is a short story collection. These are supposed to be like gothic creepy tales, I want to say. Oh, my bad. Okay, I thought this was an anthology of different authors, but these are all short stories by Kelly Link, and I feel like I've maybe read something from, I've been seeing her around a little bit more and more, noticing her name kind of popping up. But either way, this basically just represents short stories, and this one in particular is different like creepy tales of like monsters and creatures. Something else I really like. This one I probably already said. This is Mexican Gothic. I loved this book and I really like this author. This would represent like gothic horror, I would say. There's definitely some creepy, very creepy horror elements to it. Then I have a graphic novel. I love reading graphic novels. I think I'm going to leave it there for right now. Question number 4 is a book that you didn't enjoy that seemed like it would be your taste. And I probably have quite a few for these, but I have the physical book sitting right over here. All right, this one is a perfect example of this because I loved Mistborn so much. Mistborn is the first in this trilogy. This is the last one, and this one was such a slog. In fact, the second book also did not captivate me as much as the first book. And that's why it took me almost 2 years to even pick this book up again, because book 2 was kind of a slog. But this was just almost so unbearable to get through because it just, my God, this is a lot of pages to just be wandering around and having conversations about said upcoming war and mists. They're getting worse. We're in danger. I just could not. So this was very disappointing. Question number 5 is a book you enjoyed that seemed like it would not be your taste. Ooh, I got a really good one. Okay, I have a really good one for this. This is The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. And this is just like a contemporary novel about this family dynamic. And something about it just captivated me so much. I ended up really loving it. And I think it was just maybe a lot of it was just the time I had picked it up. I don't know. There's just something that really kept me reading because it's definitely a much slower paced book. Question number 6 is to show some books on your TBR that seem like they will be exactly to your taste. Well, obviously I think I'm going to like all of my books, but I feel like this stack is a lot bigger. This is Grim Lovelies by Megan Shepherd. I actually just read my first Megan Shepherd called The Madman's Daughter. I didn't even realize it was the same author, but I did really enjoy that book, and that was her debut book. And I mean, you would think that that authors become even better storytellers. That's not always the case, but this is supposed to be like a grim dark tale, and I've never read really a grim dark. I think it kind of falls in line with gothic stories, so I'm very excited for this. Then I have Circe, and I swear to God this better be good because I've been hyping it up for so freaking long in my mind. It's by Madeline Miller, and this is a Greek retelling of Circe, who was a witch. I just feel like I'm going to love this book, and it has gotten such immense praise. And I just hope that everyone else hasn't hyped this book up and then I finally get to it and it's like Piranesi all over again. The next one is The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. This is another retelling of a classic. This follows the wife of Dr. Frankenstein and like how she perceived everything. I feel like this is going to be so good, and it's also quite short as well. And Kristen White, she does a lot of like retellings. I think it's so cool. Darker Shade of Magic. I feel like this is going to be so good. And I don't 100% know why. All I know about it is that there's like 2 Londons, and this guy can travel back and forth between these Londons, and he wears like different coats or something depending on where he's going. That's literally all I know about it, and I just think I have to like it. I do like V.E. Schwab though, and I really liked I need to read so much more of hers. I read Vicious, and I need to read the rest of that series too, but that was like a really good book. And we have this one, First Life. It is like a dystopian, or this is about a girl who is like in a mental institution, but like you have multiple lives. Like she doesn't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it because it's only your first life. I guess you will die and like be reborn. This cover is so cool too. Matched is one. Delirium. And I know those are completely vastly different concepts, but I feel like the type of like young adult generation is kind of similar. I feel like they're going to be similar vibes, but I like them. So I feel like I'm going to like that. Then we have Bone Witch. This is witches, necromancy, creepy things. God, it's been forever since I reminded myself of what these are about. Okay, a necromantic witch, also known as a bone witch. They're feared and ostracized, and this girl apparently has to leave home because she is a bone witch and people don't like her. Yeah, I think I'm going to love that so much. Then we have Small Favors. I actually cannot tell you what this is about. This is 100% because Aaron A. Craig. Aaron A. Craig's other book was a complete and utter 5-star for me. That book will always stay with me. House of Salt and Sorrows. I loved that book so much. So, early settlers fought off monstrous creatures in the woods. Whispers that the creatures will exist to keep drownings and neighbors from venturing too far. Monsters, okay? You got me. You got me with monsters. Beautiful creatures. I actually know that I love this one already, but there's the rest of the series. Why did I pull that one out? I've already read that one. Okay. And the last one I have to show is In Every Generation. This is another Buffy the Vampire Slayer retelling. I have like 4 of them on my shelf now, plus some other Buffy-esque type books, and I am on the hunt to read a lot more. I have yet to read them. That's my goal at some point this year. Those are on the TBR this year. I think they're going to be so good. Question number 7, a booktuber that you watch that has similar taste to you. Oh, there's so many. There's so many. I'm just going to put them on the screen. How about that? Because I do need to go through like my watch list and find their names. Like, I know who they are by their face when they pop up, but I'm so sorry. I'm like completely drawing a blank on names. And question number 8, have you always had this taste or has it changed over time? I would say yes, I have always had this taste. It's the same taste I have in most media that I consume. I just think that it has evolved and grown. The last question is to tag people, but I'm just going to leave it open-ended. If you watch this and you want to do this tag, please let me know. I would love to come watch your video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.